Good morning, y'all, and happy Mindful Monday. Today, I'm here to talk about something that I feel like a lot of people at least have an idea of. And if you don't have an idea of it, at least you've experienced it once in your life because we all go through anxiety. We just don't all have an anxiety disorder. So, what is generalized anxiety disorder? Generalized anxiety disorder involves persistent and excessive worry that interferes with daily activities. So, what does that mean? It's not just like you have a little bit of anxiety and then you like move on with your day and keep on going. This is like, it's debilitating. You have anxiety and you don't feel as though you can move like you normally are able to move. You might avoid certain situations so that way you don't put yourself in a position to be anxious, or you may self medicate to deal with that anxiety and make an even bigger fool of yourself than you would have had you not done that. There are a lot of ways that people go about their anxiety, and there are a lot of ways that it can affect or mess with your functioning. There are many different types of anxiety disorders that affect each person differently, but if severe, it could require medication and therapy. What is an anxiety attack? Because an anxiety attack is the it's kind of like the meat and potatoes to what I'm really getting into when I talk about anxiety and anxiety disorders. An anxiety attack is kind of where that feeling of debilitation kind of comes from. So, an anxiety attack is where you experience a large amount of stress to the point where it causes you to not be able to function as normal. For example, you may have trouble sleeping or concentrating, or you may just feel on edge generally. There's a difference between a panic attack and an anxiety attack. I think that a panic attack is more of the aftermath of an anxiety attack, or maybe what happens in the midst of an anxiety attack. A panic attack lasts a lot shorter of a period of time. It also resolves a lot faster, but it feels a lot more intense. What do I mean when I say it feels more intense? Like your body actually is reacting to the stress and you lose control of it. The criteria for a panic attack are as follows: rapid heartbeat, sweating, trembling, shortness of breath, sense of choking, chest pain, nausea, dizziness, numbness or tingling, chills or hot flashes, fear of losing control, fear of no longer being here, a feeling of being detached from reality, or having an out of body experience. So, as you can imagine, if a person is experiencing the any of these symptoms, one of them is a lot. Multiple of them at the same time is a whole lot. And you can feel very powerless when you're in the midst of one of these types of attacks. Not only are you combating the stress, but you're also combating the way that your body is dealing with the stress. So you're kind of getting double whammied. And it's a lot, which is why you start to feel a little powerless in these moments. Anxiety is a normal human emotion that is useful in situations where you may be in danger. The issue becomes when that anxiety stops you from being able to function properly. With that said, you are far from alone if you suffer from an anxiety disorder or if you suffer from the effects of anxiety. In my personal experience, it is helpful to ground yourself in the present moment during an anxiety attack and do some risk assessment of the source of your anxiety. So if something is in my control, I'm going to, once I finish being anxious, I'm going to deal with how I fix the issue. This also helps you to, after, look back and say, I had an anxiety attack. I fixed my anxiety, or I fixed my stressor. So I know that if I start to feel this way again, I can fix that stressor and avoid having an anxiety attack. If something is out of your control, it will take time to grasp the fact that something is happening that is causing stress and you have no control over it. It will take time to accept it, but acceptance can be found. Just give yourself the time to accept it. If your anxiety is past the point of your control, I believe speaking with a physician or a therapist, if you already have one, would be an amazing idea. Looking for a therapist if you have an anxiety disorder would be a good idea as well. A therapist may refer you to a psychiatrist if your anxiety is bad enough, but if you and your therapist are able to manage your symptoms, you may not need medication whatsoever. There are a lot of people with anxiety disorders that do not have to take medication whatsoever. And there are a lot of people with other mental illnesses that are able to manage them well enough that they don't have to take medication. It just depends on your specific case. Always remember to give yourself and each other grace in any mental illness, in any mental disturbance, in anything in life. Give yourself and give each other grace. And I hope you have a wonderful, mindful Monday.